Hey everybody, welcome to Black Spring Live on your Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. And as always, I'd like to welcome you in. And I will start with, of course, a lesson from On Tyranny. And of course, that comes from, quote, On Tyranny, end quote, by Timothy Snyder. Now, during these times, lesson number 8 is more than auspicious, and I say apropos. So here again, stand out. Someone has to. It is easy to follow along. It can feel strange to do so or say something different, but without that unease, there is no freedom. Remember Rosa Parks? The moment you set an example, the spell of the status quo is broken, and others will follow. Hi, Chrysler Imperial. Welcome into this live stream. How are you doing? It is certainly a Tuesday. And by the way, I want to announce this again. I don't know if you were here. I think you were here last night. I have started your playlist and I'm working on it. It will be done. But yes, so you and Snapzilla Gorilla are the winners of the playlist of the week. And next Monday we will have another revealing of the playlist of the week. And that actually kind of depends on, to me, it's kind of a loyalty program because it depends on how much you're coming in and when you're coming in. And of course, you're a fantastic moderator and you have great presence on your show, on your channel and your content. So I think, you'll do more than fine hanging around here. So yeah, I just wanted to come in for a bit today on this live stream, but of course, there's tons of stories out there and I will be covering a couple of stories of my own. Personally, I'm just going to throw something. I'm going to put something out here. I think it's more than plausible, but I just think that they're basically prepping us they're conditioning America for the new Green Deal. I think there's more than enough. I think there's more than enough theory, more than enough functionalism failures that they're going to cling to. They're going to claim to every paradigm that we've ever had has failed, and that's why enters the Green New Deal. I think I heard, I've even heard things about, of course, there's fewer emissions in the air and hence the Green New Deal, which also feeds into the campaign of the climate change. So there you go. Nobody works. Everybody stays home. They're going to pay you. They're going to claim that everything's not going to cost anything. I looked at this. Of course, the Green New Deal is hundreds of pages, and who wants to read it? Nobody. But I think that's just generally they are conditioning us for it's going to be new. Everything's going to be different, and unless Chrysler says we can thank AOC for the Green New Deal. Was it a bunch of malarkey? Well, I'm thinking that they're trying to. This is a crisis that they're not letting go to waste. Every day is Groundhog's Day. I don't watch the mainstream mediocre news, but every now and then, of course, you'll get, I'll get a bit or a piece of something from them. But I'm just saying, if you weren't watching any of it, you can just kind of see that they're making the case, and this is going to be a part of it, which is, to me, You know, they're figuring, well, we're already, this system is not working. So I just don't know. I don't really know. Like I said last night, I think we're just kind of free enough to realize that we're not free right now. And I don't know. But I don't know. I guess, but see that we rarely see any really positive stories right now because I guess there's just not, if you have a senator coming out saying thank you for bringing the HQ into the treatment conversation, they get blasted for that. So, we're at a point that people can't even celebrate or be happy for those that have been successfully treated. And these are dark days. So it's a whole Marxist culture that's running everything. Everything's negative. And it's hard. It's hard coming out. It's hard coming out every day with the opposite of that. I mean, how do we prepare for the unknown? I mean, other than I think just trying to stay, active and just, maybe reading and having your own perspective is about the only way that I can see to keep people encouraged. Jeff B, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, thanks for coming in. I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you're driving home and listening. Are you being safe out there? And when I say safe, I'm not talking about zombie like safe, but I mean, are you being I actually had something that I wanted to put out, but I'm going to say I might save it until I kind of get it to where I want it to be. I'd like to put out some original content that's all mine. I'd like to do more of that because there's a lot going on. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of, I think we've got masters of the universe. Like we're not even, the paradigm is changing. So shout out to Jeff B for coming in. And I don't know, Jeff B, what's it like if you get a second, and of course drive safely is what I should say. I'm curious as to know what it's like, or have you guys changed any of the measures of your lockdown, or have you increased? Has your governor increased your lockdown orders or expanded what I think is the appropriate term is expanding? They're not, it's not just orders that have been given. They're expanding the orders. They say, oh, well, the curve is flattening, but they're not contracting, or they're not bringing these orders down with any of it. So it's hard to tell. There's so many levels of, I think, orders coming out. I mean, of course, you got your federal, then your state, then your municipal areas. And I think none of them are, nobody's talking to each other. There's no uniform. It's just not. I had somebody from Alabama tell me that their governor decided to extend. I think basically she just made a statement of indefinite extension. Meanwhile, I think was it Georgia and one of the Carolinas and a couple of others, I think are maybe they're opening halfway or. So yeah, I don't know what it looks like in Florida right now. Are the beaches open? Let's see. Thank you guys so much for coming in on this segment. So yeah, I will be putting some more things onto the community tab so that you guys will know, because I don't mind doing live streams that are, I don't want to do a lecture style live stream right now. I think people are getting enough lectures. The thing is like, what do we do with all this information? It's information overload. Or when you talk about government, you got incrimination overload. But what's happening with it? It's just a bunch of balled up energy. Then we've got more of information and more criminality than we know what to do with. So that's kind of, that's just what I'm thinking right offhand. But of course, I mean, but yeah, eventually, I'd like to do more. Like to have a regular scheduled live stream, and I'll probably put something like that in the community tab. Because I have people that come on, like normally in the daytime, I can get people will pop on from just the stream, but at night I can usually sometimes I can get people to come in on a scheduled time. But I actually think there's a protest tomorrow. Just FYI for anybody in the Los Angeles area. I posted that last night, so maybe I can share that one again. In fact, I will. And FYI, I'm going to be going over to a backup channel, DLive, and I will be posting that information as well into the community channel. So I will go in and grab that flyer for you guys, for anybody that's in that area. Anybody that's in the SoCal area that wants to participate in that. It's actually a Congress, somebody that's running for Congress he's organizing that. And he's got it very organized on his page. Let me see if he's got a regular page, and maybe I can give you a bigger picture of what maybe something even about his platform. I mean, his name is Joe Collins. Yeah, it's a Joe Collins for Congress. Yes, he has a website. He's a Navy veteran in Los Angeles. And so, yeah, he's a 43rd district. 43rd district of California. Basically, hang on, I'll have it here in just a second. The picture last night. Okay, so I guess he doesn't have that rally on the page, but I have a picture of it and I will put it up. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. Really appreciate it. So let's see. I think it's out here from yesterday. I never deleted it. So, okay. So yeah, I have it right here. I'm going to show it to you. We'll come out of studio mode just for this. Okay. So I'm going to show this page here. Okay, so we have some applications. So I'm going to show it right now. Now this is Join Joe Collins, congressional candidate, California 43rd District. It's for Operation Gridlock at City Hall from 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. This is Joe Collins to protest for reopening Los Angeles is what he's doing. So yeah, like of course SD area had I think they had at least two protests this weekend. One at Swammy's. I think the Swammy's was on Sunday, and the other was downtown, I believe Saturday. So I think we're going to see more of those coming out. And There's just so many walking contradictions. Like I was telling somebody the other day about, I had a family member to say, "Oh, you got so and so. They said they were out there protesting, and they said that their rights were being violated, and yeah, and your president, da 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 da." And then from there, she goes on to say, "Yeah, well, I think they're going to let us go back to work, and my boss has a job for a new project for me, and da da da." Okay, but I'm just thinking, do you just realize what you just said? You're standing around yapping about somebody else wanting the freedom to choose whether or not they go back to work. Yet you express your own jubilation or excitement for your own work related project, but these other people are wrong for fighting because they need to fight for theirs. See, you see there, Jeff B. Hi guys. Hi Theology Forums, Patrick Jane Forums, Killer Whale. And see, that's another thing, Jeff B. It says YouTube doesn't give me your notifications when I go live. Well, and that's why I'm doing a backup channel, because I don't want to be subverted on what I came to YouTube to do. And I don't think that's, they've made everything much more challenging around here. So of course, I think naturally, people are going to be suppressed no matter where, and I don't come here to represent any specific party. No, I don't. I'm not Republican, not Democrat. But I do recognize those who have a history or who's more consistent for fighting for actual, liberty and sovereignty, or at least they had more history for that. But now I think all of these people are compromised. I think it's rough, but we didn't get to this point by having a real people standing up and upholding their oath of office. It couldn't have been. And when somebody does it, they get blasted and chastised. They don't want to go on record. That's what happened with Thomas Massie. The minute anybody talks about any of our institutions in which they take an oath for, they attack them like rabid dogs. So here, let me just do a couple comments. Thanks so much. Drew Nation's here. How are you guys doing? Let me read your comment. Drew Nation, thanks for coming in. It is given that the states need to open back up. There's no need for protests for that to be known. I'm not a member of a party either. Let's see. Chrysler says, I think YouTube is getting selective with notifications. I've received mine. Let's see. I don't, there are people that I follow, Chrysler, that I don't get anymore. I'm going to be honest. They've done a job on the algorithms. I don't get most of my notifications anymore. Drew Nation says, we all need to be working. However, it needs to be ensured that our lives and kids are safe. Taryn Herring says, hello, Taryn Herring. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so that's yeah, let's see. Here it is. I saw you on the TR's lineup. This is how I found you. Oh, the very nice. So thank you, Drew Nation. Are you a new subscriber to this channel? Just curious. Yeah, because I don't think that I'm, I don't know what algorithms I pop up in. I heard some people that are, that definitely have more of a party affiliation say that they, that of course that their subscriptions are suffering. I think it's just going to be anybody. Anybody that says that takes issue with it doesn't really matter. You could not be nonpartisan at all, and you could still be, you say anything that goes against the challenges or that they don't like, then you're going to be, you're going to have a more difficult time. Let's see. Drew Nation said, this is my first time here and seeing you. I'm subscribed to TR and was on his page browsing, saw you on his page, so I stopped by. All right, thanks for coming in. So yeah, so we're just kind of, by the way, I'm just bringing some attention to a couple of things that are going to be coming up. For one, I'm going to be expanding this channel, or almost kind of backing it up on DLive. Working on some technical things over there on DLive right now. But some of the other features that I'm trying to offer, this is just, it's more of a loyalty thing for people that actually come into these streams. It's the playlist of the week. And I did announce it. I think I announced it last night, but I'm going to announce it one more time. And then you'll be able to keep up with it on the future references on the community tab. So the winners or the selectees, channel selectees for the playlist of the week are Chrysler Imperial H and Snapzilla Gorilla. And so Monday, I will announce another set of, or depends on who's coming in. So I'll announce those people on Monday as well. If we get too many repetitions, then I'll just make a list and then I'll just go from there. But it'll be a clear system. There's a system now, but we'll see how it goes if I need to adjust it based on who's frequenting the live streams and that kind of a bit. And I do believe I put the link in for today if anybody's interested, or maybe I didn't. No, I did not. So I'm putting the chat window out. So the chat window is available to you. I will also be putting a poll into the community tab for you to check out some things that are going on, or you might check out, there might be a poll there that you want to look at, or you might want to answer. You might want to say, hey, I'd like to see this, or I'd like to, have more guests, or like other things that you'd like to hear about. Yeah, I'm not doing, I thought about doing some, I'm not going to do a preparedness series because that's really not my area. But yeah, there'll be some other things coming out. So shout out to everybody. Chrysler Imperial H, Jeff B, who's nice to see Jeff B in the house. You guys might want to get acquainted with each other, even though it's not a grow stream. It doesn't mean you cannot connect with anyone, but we can't have, a parade of emojis, and definitely we can't have campaigns in here. No spamming the chat. Those rules are on the community page as well. Let's see. And also I'll take a look. I think I've closed up all the loops that I would think that would be causing any type of notification delays. But I just think it's what they're doing. What can I say? But yeah, thanks so much for coming in. And let's see. Yeah, so I'll be putting out some videos later today. Let's see, but as I was saying earlier, I do think that we're being primed or conditioned for a Green New Deal or an alternative paradigm to what we're accustomed to. And of course, and I figured it was, I never imagined that it would be revealed in this way. I think a lot of people, they talked about it amongst themselves, I think last fall, when it didn't get much traction, but I think they're going to make the case based on this pandemic opportunity. They're going to make the case for many things that they've wanted to push forward. And we'll see how it comes out. Let's see. Let's see. Thanks so much for you guys coming in. Of course, I could do more. So I think maybe I'm going to run this stream for about 30 minutes, and then I'll probably come back later today. But I'm happy that you guys came in. And if you could please hit the like bell, I mean the like thumb, or the unlike thumb, or hit the subscribe button or the bell, and leave a comment. I mean, you can happily leave a comment there. So I think there's a lot. I mean, I think people have a lot of time on their hands right now. More than and I hate to say it, as some, more than they know what to do with. So just for kicks. Hi, Joan Senning. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Teron Herring. Teron Herring, is this your first time here? I think, I'm not saying that, it's possible that you've been in, but I just don't remember right on. Oh, and that's a yes. Are you a new subscriber? I will check and make sure that let me make a note. Joan Senning. Let's see. I'm just going to take down the names here. Thank you so much for coming in. I'll make sure that I'm subscribed, or either I'll go on and take a look at your page. But yes, but like I said, I would just suggest, for people that have kids, I would think that this would be, my background is, I do have an education background, but I would think that, very good, Joan Senning. I would think that, that this is a good time for kids, and not only kids, but adults to read. I mean, of course, you've got your TV programming and all your devices, but I think the freshest perspectives and you can still find your own language kind of comes from, you building your own framework, and comes from your own reading and concepts. At least that's what I recommend for any. I don't have any kids right now. I don't have any of my own kids, but I would recommend that. Even for my nephew, would say, if he's of age to read, he needs to be reading, and basically kind of developing his own, his own mental armory, if you will. While you can still do these things. I don't know, like even for the schools for the fall, I'm not sure. I have a couple of friends that are trying to develop classroom platforms right now, or they're trying to finish out this year with some type of assignments online. I think that overall that maybe some of these tools like Zoom, I think they're a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know if it's a bandwidth issue or, I'm not really sure, but I would think that they're going to probably put more money into, making remote education available, or expanding the remote opportunities for, not just education, but businesses. And, with this whole thing going on, it makes sense for them to invest in that and even create more. So yeah, I think it's pretty opportune time for that. Does anybody else have anything? I'm going to do a shout out, and I'm taking down the names of anybody that I have not seen in this stream before. Teron Herring, shout out. Joan Senning, shout out. Thank you so much for coming in. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to share? Thank you, Drew Nation, for coming in. TR Show is a fantastic. TR has a robust, I think, spirit and life about him. I mean, it's rare when I see it, but I also know that there's, as you know, musicians and, you know, we take care of our own, and we kind of pick up those things. We recognize our own, if you will. And that's what kind of keeps us going. So shout out to TR. TR definitely has a great spirit, and he's very inspiring. He can inspire you. Jeff B, shout out to you. And Killer Whale, I think Killer Whale is here. Shout out to Killer Whale. Let's see who else is here. And also, Killer Whale is fantastic. I mean, these are two of the first two people that spoke to me. And I don't mean that from just a literal or just from a verbal perspective. You know, I think there's something that attracts. We attract those. I think that we have, you know, the similar vibrations, if you will. I'll just put that out there. But yes, like there's a real warmth in the spirit for not just networking or recruiting people, but I think there's something really genuine about TR and Killer Whale. So I would advise anybody to, you know, get over there and get connected on those platforms. Because I mean, and then of course, then you just kind of burst and you start making connections with other people. That's okay. That's okay. Theology forums. It's totally all good. But yeah, I was just trying to, I've made a couple of announcements, but it's also, I have to put the work in behind the scenes to build up that other channel. But DLive is another place. So I'm going to try to do, I guess, a bit of a simulcast, I guess. I don't think if I can simulcast, of course, I can build on my parameters, my criteria here with the YouTube venture. But I think DLive, I won't, you know, I guess DLive is its own entity, I guess. But yeah, it'll be kind of nice to see how things come out on that, how things are presented and how they come out. And I think there might be some other perks on there. So yeah, you'll see that. And you'll see me you'll still see me on this channel. I didn't mean to paint like a negative Nancy, if you will, for the lack of a better word. It's just that, you know, I was inspired by people who were speaking out about what was important to them. They were speaking on their values. And then all of a sudden, you know, I've heard about people talking about suppressions and not growing and staying in the same space since last year. And I didn't disbelieve anything that I was hearing, but I think I think they're just proving that they're in control. And this is not the time that I think people want to be controlled. Scorpion, how are you? Is it Scorpion 19? Don't get me on the Roman numerals. I think it's right. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. And if you guys could hit the thumbs up, or, you know, let me know make your mark on the Black Spring Live. I really appreciate it. This is not a grow stream, but it's certainly, I certainly don't mind some level of networking on here, but it needs to be covert and it doesn't need to be a parade of emojis and but you can check out the community tab for those guidelines on that. But I do need to put out a video on some things that I want to talk about them here, but let's see. Scorpion 19 says, doing pretty good. Says, how about yourself? And yeah, it's Scorpion 10 1. X1X, lol. Okay, cool. So I didn't crash and burn on the Roman numeral. X1X. Cool. Just as cool. So I'm going to I was showing this of course, everybody has their own opinion, and that's never going to go away. So if you're anti-thought, whatever, then this is probably not the channel for you. But the person on the screen, if you can see it, is actually Joe Collins. I think he's doing some form of a protest. I think he's a congressional candidate out of Los Angeles. I think he's doing some type of a protest there. And he's got the guidelines for it. I think he has an Instagram page. It's actually it's kind of being, they're being creative with these protests. I think it's going to be similar to the one in Michigan, I think, where it's basically they're staying in their vehicles. But he's outlined all of those points for those people that want to participate, I think. And I hope it goes peaceful. And I think people have the right to protest, and they're going to do that. And so it's not about feelings, people are wanting to maintain their rights. Is what they want to do. Da da da! Look who's here.
Hang on.
How you doing? It seems like it's been a lifetime. Where's the time going?
I had a busy weekend. It was so busy that I forgot I was supposed to live stream last night.
Did you?
Yeah, I completely forgot. So I was actually looking at my calendars today. I'm thinking, I'm supposed to live stream tonight. I got to get something ready. Then I see it's Tuesday. I'm like, oh, well, that's about 24 hours too late.
Oh. So I think I see your state in the news that I'm getting confused. Is it Kemp? Is it Brian Kemp that's the governor? Okay. So are you guys still coming out, or is there a time frame for your orders, or
I've actually, even though I typically do news and politics, I've been tapped out a little.
Mm-hmm.
I do know Brian Kemp wants to bring us out. He's getting a lot of flack because he reopened the beaches, which I think is an incredibly intelligent idea for a plethora of reasons. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think he is trying to take us out, and I think the part of the battle going on, like with Brian Kemp and Donald Trump, is so many people think that this is going to be actually genuinely dangerous, and they're all like, "Oh my goodness, we're all gonna die if people come out of their houses." It's the other way around. If you honestly think you're at risk, then by all means, stay in your house. Call county services, let them know that you're terrified. And there's enough going around that probably someone's going to come bring you some food. Everyone's going to be okay. But the studies coming out right now, the information coming out right now is confirming every freaking thing I've been saying from the beginning. This stuff has been here for months. Most of us have already been infected with it and successfully fought it off, meaning the actual mortality rate is almost the same as the regular flu.
Well, I just think it's just another, to me, the division is going, it's going to, once more of the smoke on it starts to clear, they're still going to show a division, you know what I mean? Like just, political divisions. Red state, blue state. It's all. I mean, I think it's, crime.
Well, this has actually gone beyond political divisions, because I have friends that are 100% pro Trump and 100%, pro staying in your homes to save other lives.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen that too. It's I don't know.
Big Pharma has created a different war, a different war in understanding. They're doing everything they can to increase their profits, which typically when you're a business, you want to increase your profits. That makes sense. But I think they realized, well, they've dug themselves so deep into a hole, they have to keep going. They cannot successfully come out of this like the cell phone industry did. So, or even the tobacco industry. So to actually, sorry, I guess I must be tired. I'm not thinking of all my words right now. To elaborate on that point, is based around the concept of plausible deniability. So smoking used to be recommended by doctors. You would go to the doctors in like the 1940s and they would say, those lungs don't sound good. You need to smoke more. Have you tried Lucky Strike? It was horrendous. So what was happening with the tobacco industry is they started realizing, hey, this stuff really is causing problems. How do we back our way out of this? And they carried this on for years. And finally they started just investing in other products. So they don't really need to get all their money out of tobacco. They have other business dealings going on. So now you don't really see a lot of anti-smoking ads. I mean, you still do, but it's not a huge thing like it used to be because they're not afraid of it anymore. It's not a big thing for them. Now with the cell phone industry, like in the 90s when cell phones started becoming very popular, a lot of people started coming out and saying, hey, this stuff gave me brain cancer because I have a cell phone looking tumor in my head. Cell phone industry just kept denying it, saying we have no idea what you're talking about. There's no conclusive evidence. We're going to continue to investigate. And if you tell a scientist, hey, we need you to investigate this indefinitely, they're going to do it because that's how they make money. So at a certain point, though, they kept re-engineering their phones to where you're getting a fraction, just a small fraction of the radiation that you used to get out of them. So now they don't have to worry about it anymore. They engineer the problem out and people just have kind of forgotten about that issue. The medical community cannot do this. They cannot come out and say, oh, by the way, we gave you all autism and we made half the women in Africa sterile. Oops. They can't come out and say that. So Big Pharma has been pushing this fear campaign for years. That's why people right now are discovering basic biology. I can't get over how much I've seen people freak out over, oh my goodness, germs live on gas pump handles and shopping cart handles. I'm like, you're just now discovering this? This has literally always been a thing, legitimately for the past 20 freaking years. You go to any grocery store, they have a hand sanitization wipes for the shopping carts. You think that was just there for decoration? So people are discovering reality for the first time in their lives. I would hope that at the end of this, real knowledge starts getting out there. There's been a lot more movement in like the anti-vax movement or the health freedom movement, that hopefully more people do wake up to this. And I'm kind of terrified that when the CV vaccine comes out, you're going to see millions and millions of people flocking to go get it, and they're going to see thousands of people with injuries from it, especially children. And those are the people finally figuring out for the first time, hey, maybe that crazy guy, that I stopped talking to was actually right about this, because now my kids suddenly are suddenly having seizures when they've never had seizures before.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's just the I don't know. I saw an interview, I think it was CBS, with Zuckerberg and maybe his wife. They were all, it was just the rhetoric in it was just, you could find every component of rhetoric. They basically were talking about, he's basically saying he and Gates are joining together to I guess come up with with vaccines, I guess medications, and they're taking their hats off to the first responders. And she started crying, and I just thought, wow, and a lot of people are gonna just lap this up And do I actually believe these people are sitting in their homes? I think they're on holiday with all of us out of the way. Hey, you can enjoy your Mediterranean vacation or whatever, your villa or your second or third house across in Martha's Vineyard or whatever. Even better now because you've got the whole beach to yourself. Or I'm just thinking these people are not like us. Like they're not.
They think they're better than us.
They do live in a, it's like it's just a different world. They're getting little, we're getting crumbs and
Yeah,
and
they think they're better than us because they were born differently. They're high, they have a higher social status. They just think they're better than us. They think that we're not intelligent enough to figure out what's going on. It's ridiculous to see. Donald Trump, a couple months ago or a month ago, came out and said, "Hey, looks like this hydroxychloroquine might work because we're seeing studies that are kind of showing that." And he was actually referencing legitimate medical information that was reflected on the CDC website. Everybody came out and said, "Oh my goodness, Trump is not a doctor. He shouldn't be talking about these things." But then you have a couple IT guys come out, and we all know how much we love IT, but they come out of the woodworks and say, "Oh, we can't go outside until we have a vaccine." All right. So here they're out there giving medical information that is not reflected on the CDC website. And everybody's just lapping it up like, "Oh, yeah, we trust these guys because they're telling us what we want to hear," despite the fact that they also do not meet the criteria that we feel the president should be meeting as well. It's ridiculous.
Hang on just 1 second. I can see that. Hi, Snapzilla. Thank you. In fact, Snapzilla had that whole interview on his page with him and what's her name from CBS. But yeah, I'm just thinking, these people think they're masters of the universe right about now because they have money. And it's just, to me, it's very transparent. It's predictable, that they're all going to, get together and, what credentials does Mark Zuckerberg have? As you said, he's a technocrat.
Yeah.
And Bill Gates and Bill Gates and Bill and the Melinda Gates Foundation, they've been playing God in Africa for years. So why aren't those people, why aren't they astonishingly healthy? Why are they not? Why are they not more prosperous? If you've been all these people doing in their goodwill towards humankind, goodwill towards man, I'm so over it.
Well, this is where some of the extreme leftists come up with a good point about false generosity. If you go down that rabbit hole, they actually do make sense. That is one point from them that legitimately everyone should pay attention to. So when we send millions upon millions of dollars worth of vaccines to Africa, we're viewing that as, well, we're being generous because we're giving them something. But in reality, is it benefiting them? No, because you're vaccinating these people against the flu, but 6 months later they're still dying of starvation or lack of clean water. So right. False generosities, what they really want is clean food and clean water. All those millions of dollars could have been invested in a better, a slightly better housing situation, or actually an educational program to train the local engineers, because these people are not dumb. Okay.
No.
They've actually been forced to be they've been forced to be that way to some degree. They don't want them rising up. But there's definitely a lot of intelligent people in Africa that's done well for themselves. And you have some celebrities that have actually gone over there, like, what's his name? Akon, that has done a lot of good for his communities over there. And there are things that could be done. It just takes, all that money being invested over there. It should be invested in creating engineering schools and maybe, what do you call it, construction firms or something, so they can, these people are walking in each other's feces.
Right. Well, see, and to your point, if I may, that's the same thing about when I think about, China has a huge presence there. But then I think that's not quite, you're building all these things there, and many of their heads of states have said, well, we don't know if we can repay this. They're just coming here and building these things, and you've got, U.S. Army officials saying that everywhere they go, they can't look over their shoulder, and they're like they're not right behind them. I'm just thinking they're not really making Africa autonomous or more independent. Apparently not, for them to go there and build all this and do all this, put any kind of infrastructure, and they're still in the same place. I mean, I don't know if that's putting them on the map, if they're not any better off, they're not, their lifestyles are not sustainable still after all of this. It's almost like a colonization or something. What are you actually doing there? I mean,
yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point. We don't has anything we done actually helped? Doesn't look like it. Maybe we should just get out of there altogether and let them sort it out, because it's not like we've been doing a good job. And maybe China does do a good job. Maybe if China gives them a bill and say, hey, you got to pay us back for this, that will actually do something, because you appreciate things when you have to pay for them.
Right. Well, and then that kind of started me into, let me do a couple comments here from Snapzilla Gorilla. He says, damn oligarchs rearing their ugly heads. And he says, which is great, let them expose themselves. Well, yeah,
that's what Trump's been doing.
Yeah,
Trump's been forcing them to expose themselves, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, did you see? I saw a commercial with, of course, I saw an interview with Nancy Pelosi and her in that refrigerator, that little Marie Antoinette kind of parody that they're doing. She's eating ice cream, and it's a huge commercial. But it's sad. It's really sad that the party that claims to fight for the populist, they're lavishly taking breaks and watching people scramble and squabble.
They're loving their quarantine. They get to sit in their mansions all day with their $25,000 refrigerators while they have people go shopping for them.
Yeah, because I think Nancy said, "Oh, I got this in the mail, all flavors in the mail." I'm just thinking, why would anybody want to interview her? I mean, I think Chris Wallace did another pretty revealing. She told on herself. She pulled a race card when she was asked about her going through Chinatown with no mask on, and I'm just saying, for people that still support them, I don't know what they're watching. I don't know what the magic is, where the magic is. I really don't. Just look at what they do. You can almost forget about what they say. What have they done? What are they doing?
Well, they just whine and complain a lot. That's why they're still trying to impeach Trump again. They just can't give it up. They think that's their bread and butter, causing all this problem. That's their bread and butter. But Donald Trump has exposed that so much that a lot of people have woken up and said, hey, well, maybe we can change things if we vote for the right people.
Hang on, I got a couple of shout outs here. Old Head Deuce. You gave me some muscle. I think I need it. Snapzilla says Trump just said he has ultimate authority over the states. He has exposed himself many times over. Let's see.
I need to go watch that entire press conference, because they will take short and very short clips, or they will cut things out, because I've done that plenty of times. Where you go back and see the actual press conference of what was going on, and it's not what the media is pushing. So maybe he did say that, and he's just doing his classic Trump thing where he's trying to trump the reporter. But
yeah,
one of the things that people have said that, well, he's exposed himself because look at this, he's going to make money off of the coronavirus. He's going to make money off of the vaccine. Even the article even states, well, he can make as much as $1,000. Donald Trump has been a tycoon in the hotel, leisure, and travel industry. Tourism. What's the industry that's been hit the hardest? All of that. So I sincerely think he could have made more money by leaving everything open.
Well, it's going to be, I think, I just keep watching this whole thing it's just like a movie. It's like an illusion. Like
It is.
it's a movie, and but you have casualties in movies, right?
Yes. Well, I think we're coming to the precipice of what we've been seeing for the past 4 years. This has been a battle between the global elites. They lost their crown jewel of America. They were doing everything they can to get it back. Part of what was the polarization is prior to Donald Trump, these global elites couldn't care less what your political affiliations were, as long as you would vote the way they told you to vote. But because Donald Trump ran as a Republican, that meant the elites had to start investing more in the Democrats, which is why you had Michael Bloomberg on stage admitting that he put 21 Democrat congressmen in office specifically to give Nancy Pelosi the power to impeach Donald Trump. He bought the impeachment. And he tried to buy the presidency. That's very brazen, very, very brazen. That's how. So they're getting reckless in how desperate they want their control back. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bloomberg and the other elites have similar controls in places like China.
Let me see. I've got a few. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. This is from Snapzilla Gorilla. He says, I don't believe in the dog and pony show. No rulers 2020. Old Head Deuce says, Dick Gregory said Trump will be the last American president. I'd love to see that interview. I need to look for it.
They've been saying that since before he was inaugurated. That's why I said this thing's been going on for 4 years. They've been doing everything that they can to destroy Trump's image. So they started saying that before he was even inaugurated, saying Donald Trump will make himself, president forever. No, at no point has he indicated that or taken moves towards that. If this was truly a dictatorship, he would not have an opposition. They would all be in the graveyard, kind of like in North Korea or Russia.
Speaking of North Korea, I think I heard that, what was it, Kim Jong-un was a bit ill. I think I need to follow that story up. I think I will.
Yeah, he had a surgery, and supposedly he's not doing well after his surgery. I couldn't care less about him. North Korea, look, like everyone else, I feel bad for the people in North Korea. There's not a lot that we can do there at all. And even China doesn't like what's going on there. They realize it's disgusting.
Let's see. Okay, so we have Snapzilla said, for me, no president is trustworthy. They are all banker puppets. Why is the Fed still around? Why is the IRS still operating? I need to see a lot more to even come close to trusting the plan.
Oh, there's too much for us. It's like trying to debate what's on the dark side of the moon. It's too far outside of our perception. Yeah, I don't like the Fed either. I don't think they've been. I think the Fed's been working against the presidency as well.
Okay.
But if Donald Trump was truly someone's puppet, they would not be trying so hard to get him out.
Let me see. Old Head Deuce says, you're all being ran by the algorithm. Haha. Okay. And Snapzilla says Trump wants to be king, and so do many of his followers.
No. Honestly, if Trump was a monarch, he would not have an opposition. Monarchs kill their opposition. But he's had opposition since before he inaugurated. He could have stopped a lot of these investigations. He let them play out because he wanted them to embarrass themselves. That's why we had that 2 years of the Mueller probe. Nothing came out of it. Absolutely nothing. And the people that they picked up on the Mueller probe, they were trying to say, well, they lied to the FBI. Well, the Horowitz report shows that the FBI lied to the FBI and the FISA court system and to the American people. But yet we're trying to put Roger Stone away for not being guilty of what the Mueller probe wants him to be.
Let's see. This is at Snap. You got it right. Have you heard of the book called The, quote, Creature of Jekyll Island? Let's see. We're already living under a dictatorship, just not a totalitarian one yet.
How are we currently running under a dictatorship? I would like that to be elaborated on, please.
And Old Head Deuce says Trump killed the Democratic Party.
The Democrat Party killed the Democrat Party. Trump just stood there and watched them and laughed. I mean, all they had to do was keep their mouths shut for 4 years and just go through the motions. Everything would have been fine. The only reason why Donald Trump started investigating Ukraine is because they started doing that thing they're bad poker players. They started trying to protect Ukraine even before Donald Trump was even interested in it. So at a certain point, he's like, hey, what's going on over here? Donald Trump he's been making business deals his whole life. He needs to know how to read people. And he started reading that situation like an open book.
Okay, hang on a second. I got somebody from Lynn. Lynn, how are you doing? Lynn Yin Chin. At Snapzilla, it's supposed to be the two wings of man plus woman in the family of humanity. You guys are going deep on, let's see. DJ Vision Barnett.
Hey, how's work?
He's at work checking in. How you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Somebody says, who's the guest? This is Old School Wolf.
Yes, Old School Wolf Media.
Old School Wolf Media is the guest. And DJ Vision Barnett says he'll be on tonight.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that, DJ. And Snapzilla Gorilla says, can I build a house on open land without being bothered by the government?
Okay, I understand where you're coming from now. That sounds like a very libertarian argument. That's fine. That's fine. I honestly think we're nowhere near the ability to actually to deal with that. So I understand where you're coming from a totalitarian sense. So yeah, the federal government's been overreaching for years. That's part of what the people are pushing back on. And I think I see the people that are deep into the left, they seem to believe that government is God and we should trust them, indefinitely, without question. And it's just a weird thing. They want more government. They trust the government, but they don't like Donald Trump. Okay, then that's why we should have limited government.
Okay, I can agree that the government is out of control. Let's see. And then Snapzilla says, can I build a house on, well, did I read that already?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Because I'm going fast. Lynn says, DJ Vision, Merry Christmas, something, with the notes. And then Snapzilla says, in LA, can I go outside without wearing a mask and not get fined? Do I need a permission slip to drive a car?
Well, that's more of a municipal issue. Donald Trump isn't saying, hey, fine people or arrest them because they're walking around without a mask. That's LA, because LA is retarded like that. And if you want to go down the list of how horrible the LA government is and how horrible the California government is, we could be here all night. So that's a municipal issue. Yeah, that is totalitarian. It is stupid, especially since they tried to shut down all the guns. Actually, I think California is still trying to shut down all the gun stores and ammunition sales, aren't they?
Well, my gun place is not open yet. They said they were going to be open on the 15th. I went out there, and it just is closed again. Like, there's nobody.
See, that's illegal. They can't. The states do not have actual legal authority to do that, and that's the problem with government overreach. The people start losing their power to fight back.
Let's see. Yeah. And so Snapzilla Gorilla says exactly. Let's decentralize the government and go back to sovereign states as a start.
No, there's definitely, I'm all for smaller government. I think a lot of federal alphabet institutions should be dismantled, like the federal education program. Like, leave that to the states. That way the states can control themselves. Being micromanaged has not done anybody any favors.
No. And then Lynn says, does the guest dream of giant robots? Is he of the type that improves or detracts from the quality of life?
You're going to have to form that thought a little better. Dream of giant robots. No. Don't think I've dreamed of giant robots since I was a child and Robot Jocks came out. Man, that was a good movie.
I've never seen that.
It's an early 90s movie. Giant robots fighting to save humanity. It's good.
Okay.
I haven't even seen Pacific Rim. I don't have an interest in those movies anymore.
Okay. So then I have Snapzilla Gorilla says it's not just Trump I have a problem with. I'm all about no rulers. And then he says they shut the gun shops down. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I have not been able to. I don't know if anybody's gun shop is open or it. Yeah. Not even.
I
Even
guarantee when they open back up, there's going to be a line around the block. People saying, I ain't putting up with this BS again. I'm getting my boomstick and my freedom seeds now.
Yeah, and then I even tried to. I played by their little rules, and I emailed. They said they were going to do appointment only, is what they said for the 15th. Okay, I emailed for an appointment. I never got contacted or anything, and I'm actually a member. I pay a membership fee to be a part of that. So I'm just thinking that maybe I should just put that in my own little civil little complaint about the communication. Just communicate. At
Well,
least
yeah. So that is kind of a problem with a lot of small organizations, even large organizations. They can have communication problems, but that's all it is. They want to be open.
let's see. Okay. Old Head says, I too study those ways. Okay. Yeah. Well, certainly, it's been, I don't know. It's just been, I heard somebody told me that Alabama's governor decided she was not going to until something about their curve or their testing changed, that she wasn't going to. So that's like an indefinite. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if telling people that we're planning to open or certain states are planning to open, because I think people are going to start going to other states if they want to get something.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, especially, it's scary being in a state that says we're not going to open ever. I'm not, we're just going to keep stretching it out. That's a scary place to be, because people are starting to realize the economics don't work out there. They just don't work out there. And then they start shutting down all the gun stores. They shut down your means to defend yourself. People start wigging out. They're like, I don't want to be here.
No. I mean,
yeah, leftists are finally waking up to their own leftist agendas. Turn California red.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had a couple of protests here this weekend, and yeah, I think there's one in LA. I think I had that one on the screen, but I think Zuckerberg has made a vow to shut down people on Facebook from, I guess you can't talk about any protest, or
yeah,
we're dangerous, right? I'm pretty dangerous, right?
I'm not surprised. Him and Google have been doing that for years, trying to make sure people don't know the truth, making sure people can't organize. That falls into a very gray area argument of what is freedom of speech. Do the Bill of Rights actually apply online? If we do federalize the internet or internet communications, that would definitely change things. But then that calls into play, well, is that government overreach? These are just new areas that we have not explored very well.
Well, I think he got. I mean, I think he's been to. I think he's been to Capitol Hill for the way he's handled people and their exercising. And I forgot how that even ended up. But he's still doing what he wants. He's still running He's still doing what he wants to do, suppressing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I'm trying to shore up on this DLive thing in case, I get shut down before I even get really started on here. So yeah, that's one thing I was trying to share. So I'm going to read some more comments. Let's see. Yeah, I think, Snapzilla was talking about there was a line going around the block at the gun shop.
Yeah, even here in Georgia, the gun stores have been emptying out. Like people, a lot of first time buyers here, they're going through similar things that California's going through, just probably not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. I go down to there's a huge gun store right outside of Atlanta. I go down there, and it's always like 90% black people.
Let's see. Okay, this is what we do. What?
Move Asian. That means quietly with the TV off. I'm starting to sense a theme here. You're gonna have to like flesh out your ideas a little better.
Yeah, I'm not. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I get it. It says of all places they open the beaches. That makes me wonder how serious are they about this.
Well, I don't think there's been a lot of seriousness going on the entire time, especially coming from. So when you look at like speciality, since we started specializing in our specializing our lives in single directions, a governor, a judge, a lawyer, they always have to go with when it comes to medical, they have to go with what the medical professionals say. Right? That's so if the medical professional is a bad medical professional, well, then you're subject to bad medical advice, but you can't really argue with it because you're not a medical professional yourself. I think the CDC and Big Pharma have a revolving door. They hook each other up constantly because Big Pharma is, they own the CDC essentially. And they've been wanting this. Now, if they truly cared about this, they would have followed the Swedish model. Swedish model being, hey, the people that are at risk, you stay home, you self-quarantine, we'll take care of you. Everybody else, you have to keep the economy going and go to work because you're going to be fine. It's not difficult. And they had all the information they needed to determine that who was at risk and how to deal with it, because all that, hydroxychloroquine stuff, that was in actual studies as anecdotal information. You've been seeing a lot of people that have used it through a right to try and has worked on them. But you've also seen like the Nevada governor and another governor, I forget who it was. They tried to outlaw the use of it because they hate Donald Trump that much. Well, you're only hurting your own citizens there.
Yeah, I think I did see something like that. Yeah. It's just
So a lot of people in government are using this to be petty dictators, not realizing what keeps them in office.
well, I'm hoping that I don't know. I hope that they will not do any more. I don't know if they're trying to do any type of they're trying to slide in any type of gun legislation during this time. I mean, I know that Virginia is dealing with something like that, but
Virginia, that's been going on for quite some time. There's been no like from what I understand, there's been no like federal push for gun regulation, which I don't think that's going to happen while Trump's in office. But you see places like California been shutting down gun stores, and Virginia, they've been trying to do that for a while. Virginia is just kind of ignoring their government right now. They don't care. Northam is not going to be in office this next term.
Yeah, it's been exhausting. Things coming out of there, and even Michigan, that governor that they have, setting a lot of trends, and they're all kind of picking it up. Because I mean, but really and truly, when somebody says, "Oh, people that are in those blue states, they're really screwed because they've got these Democrat governors and their orders and draconian measures," and then I look at another state that's red. Some of the red states, are doing some of the same things. So,
yeah.
I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if they're making things up as they go along, or they're not calling each other and saying, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I just can't really tell to me. It just, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see how it all comes out. It's something different every day, I think.
So I have to leave in a couple of seconds, but too many people are trying to focus on things going on. They'll focus on China, or they'll focus on CV, or they'll focus on multiple things. Truth is, there is a lot of things going on right now. I think when Donald Trump took over, he upset the global powers. There's no longer a traditional pecking order like there used to be. So now all the global elites are fighting for control. These are giants, absolute giants. You can't see what's going on because of all the dust they're kicking up and how tall they are. But when a giant falls in the ocean, you may die from the tsunami. If they fall on the land, you may die from the earthquake, assuming in neither situation do they fall on you. That's why I focused on prepping. I've always done prep. I've done prepping to some degree. I just wasn't ready to go full blown. So that's why I started doing it a lot more, a lot more intensely recently. I think we just need to be ready for a possible economic collapse no matter who wins.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I told you, but I did get some. I have some seeds ready to go, and yeah, we'll see how that works out. And I started out with the pots. Um,
Good.
but yeah, I don't know if I want to build one of those. I guess I could build one of those little boxes or something. Maybe keep the rabbits out, but
You got time on your hands now.
I know. Yeah, I'll see what I can do to. Let me build it up a little bit high so they can't just hop right
Yeah.
over it.
Well, run up those credit cards. Run up those credit. If money's about to be useless, run up that debt.
Yeah, I thought about you the other day when you were saying like, you were using your credit card.
Shit, might as well get what I can when I can.
Yeah, it makes sense, but we'll like I said, we'll see. Um, yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But I'm probably gonna wrap up this stream here in like 5 minutes or so. I'll do a few shout outs and are
Yeah,
you going live? Are you going live again this week or is it
I will tomorrow night because I'm on the correct day now, so I won't forget tomorrow night.
All right, old school. Well, appreciate you for coming in with your perspective, and we'll see what's tomorrow night. Is it another part of the prep series, or is it different?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be going over my bug out bag.
Ooh, okay.
Finally.
All right. Well, we'll see you around, and thanks so
Right.
much for coming in.
Nice meeting you all. Have a good evening. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fully loaded show, and let's see. I may come back later. I actually got in a little bit more time than I thought. Old Head Deuce says, great show. Thanks. Like I said, I wasn't really have a specific topic on this. I just basically kind of get, just hearing some other perspectives. Like I said, he's right. There's like so many things going on. And then I did hear about the immigration. I'm wondering what the pushback on that. I'm wondering if some of this stuff is going to become bargaining chips at some point, which, like I said, we'll see. I'm going to go through and do, a few shout outs. Snapzilla Gorilla, by the way, you are one of the winners of the playlist of the week. It's you and Chrysler Imperial H. So congrats on that. I've completed your playlist. Let's see if anybody has anything else. We've got about 5 minutes left, and we're gonna call it. That's it. Lynn says, sleep well, do the silent prayer. And we'll see what happens, Lynn. Let's see. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H, Lynn, Old Head Deuce. Who else is here? Kango Pods. Shout out to you. Snapzilla Gorilla. Let's see. Who else was here? I think Killer Whale was here. And then Scorpion X1X. Theology Forums. Jones Senning. Taryn Herring. And Drew Nation. Jeff B. A long time. It's been a long time, Jeff B. And it looks like that's going to be it for the coming in today. I really appreciate you guys. And yes, that was definitely a fully loaded show. We definitely got into some theories and some conflicts and everything. Whole paradigm of things. But I really appreciate everybody for coming in on this segment. I may be around. And so next week, I will announce a new set of playlist winners, or like I said, depends on how often you come in, is how that's going to work. The more you come in with any program, the more you frequent the place, you actually get, rewarded for coming in, and I do, if you have I'll show you the specifics on that. But you can look for updates also for the D Live backup channel. You can see the information coming out through that channel. Through that page. Lori Real, how are you doing? We're wrapping up here. Sorry that you're coming in so late, but if you guys could remember to hit the bell or hit the like button. But next time, let's see. Does anybody else have anything else? I'll stay for another 5 minutes if anybody else wants to hop on. But otherwise, so give me about 30 seconds and I'm going to wrap up this stream. Because I'd really like to get into, it was nice. You guys were talking about so many issues in there that I'd love to, dig a little bit deeper into all of them, but kind of running out of steam a little bit today. So with that said, I thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring Live. And if you're around later, I might be on later. Everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Take care.